Cannot let this guy out.
Jenny Aquino and her daughter Bella are still traumatized and now terrified, knowing their attacker is again accused of attempted murder. Christian Valdez was convicted of stabbing the mom and daughter on their Bronx fire escape in 2017.
I just remember what happened.
The sixth grader was only 4 at the time, but the ordeal left her with mental and physical scars. Over the weekend, the girl and her mother saw Valdez on the news. The 30-year-old ex-con allegedly threw a romantic partner onto subway tracks as a train pulled in. Both of the victim's legs are now amputated.
Do not let him come out. Do not let him come out because he's going to keep doing it.
Velez allegedly did this while on parole for stabbing the Aquinos. Not to mention, Valdez is accused of trying to murder an ex-girlfriend last December, days after being released from prison. 2 violent crimes in which parole was allegedly violated.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to go out to Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world. New York, okay, as the cackling hands on The View are confronting Kathy Hochul on a number of subjects dealing with crime, which is a surprise, okay, but they claim that crime is down. So I'm not sure exactly why they're talking about this. If crime is down, you would think that if crime is actually really down, they would not be discussing this issue. But the truth is that despite the fake numbers from the government, because they don't arrest people or charge people with crimes anymore, crime is up, right? Crime is out of control in these liberal cities. Don't let them gaslight you and fool you and to make you think anything different, just like they try to do with inflation. In fact, Janet Yellen just came out and said that she regrets saying that inflation was transitory.
In 2021, you did say that inflation was transitory. Do you regret saying that now?
I regret saying it was transitory. It has come down, but I think transitory means a few weeks or months to most people.
Yeah, so eventually Democrats will come out here and say that, well, we regret saying that crime was down, right? What we really meant was that, well, crime was down a little bit from the year before, but still up significantly after the pandemic, okay, which is where crime spiked because we had the George Floydification of America. And during the George Floydification of America, criminals became emboldened to commit crimes because Democrats got soft on crimes. And one of the ways they got soft on crime is through these woke bail reform laws that essentially calls for no bail, okay, allowing criminals to roam free even if they are suspected of committing violent crimes. And that is what Joy Behar is going to confront Kathy Hochul over, because there was a very gruesome story out of Long Island that happened in New York City involving some individuals that are suspected of dismembering a couple of people in the area, and they found like their body parts on the island, and police found blood in the sink in the house and the butcher knife or cadaver that they used to chop the people up. And these people, who again are suspected of murdering people, right? Murdering a couple people, are being let out on bail because the charges that were levied against them apparently are not eligible for bail. Pretty unbelievable story, but only in Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world do you see something like this.
Well, shock and outrage after the 4 suspects arrested in connection with the dismembered body parts on Long Island were released without bail.
All right, Governor Hochul blaming the Suffolk County DA's office, saying they should have brought more charges, but the DA says all of this is because of New York's bail laws.
Jody Goldberg takes a look at this war of words.
I don't think our governor is getting the message.
It was high-stakes finger-pointing. Suffolk County officials versus New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
Governor, you need to do your job.
County Executive Ed Romaine teamed up with state and county lawmakers and the PBA to once again call for changes to bail reform laws. They're using the arrests of 4 suspects accused of hacking human remains before scattering them throughout Long Island as a prime example of why a judge should have discretion over setting bail.
When you can take a dismembered body and attempt to conceal it in a place that children play, and then walk out of court scot-free. This is not rational.
Investigators found blood, butcher knives, and meat cleavers in their apartment, but so far they've only been charged with tampering with physical evidence, hindering prosecution, and concealing a human corpse. They all walked out with GPS monitoring devices because the crimes they're accused of are technically not violent under New York state law. Governor Hochul responded on Good Day New York on Thursday morning.
Maybe the DA should have done a more thorough investigation and brought murder charges or conspiracy to commit murder or even assault charges, because all of them are bail eligible.
But District Attorney Ray Tierney says police detectives have been working 24/7 on the case.
The prosecutors were able to argue dangerousness in their bail application. Those 4 defendants would still be in jail.
Officials on both sides of the aisle insist it's not politics, but rather an issue of public safety.
What we have to do is restore the discretion of judges.
Perhaps we've gone a little bit too far with bail reform, that perhaps we've favored too much the perpetrators of crime and not weighed in enough for the victims of crime.
Residents say it's downright dangerous.
It's ridiculous. I think bail should be set.
As far as the case goes, the grand jury will hear evidence and charges can be upgraded. Now, 2 of the defendants are due back in court tomorrow, the other 2 on Monday. No word yet on a possible motive.
Yeah, so you see, now you heard that. Unbelievable. Okay, only in liberal Looney Tunes land do you see people who were suspected of dismembering individuals basically get let out immediately. Okay, let out immediately. No bail. Absolutely insane. So insane that, again, Joy Behar is so afraid. She's so afraid of the consequences of no bail. She is actually confronting Kathy Hochul over this, because clearly and obviously she's freaking out about the fact that, hey, we're allowing these criminals just to roam freely on the streets, despite the fact that they are allegedly committing violent crimes. So I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, I have to tell you guys how to protect yourself online with Virtual Shield. Countless people are mistaking private browsing tabs as a way to stay anonymous online. It has gotten so bad that a popular web browser had to update their terms of service to let users know that using private web browsing does not stop websites from collecting your data. Even with private browsing mode enabled, you can still be tracked by websites and internet service providers. While many tech-savvy people already know that private mode in web browsers does not make them anonymous, the average user is being misled. That's why I've been protecting my privacy thanks to Virtual Shield VPN, and I absolutely love it. Thanks to Virtual Shield's help, I am able to browse the internet anonymously, which helps protect myself, my data, and finances from cyber criminals, ISPs, rogue tech companies, and data mining giants. With Virtual Shield's anonymous browsing, a strict no-log policy, unlimited bandwidth, built-in malware, and ad blocking, this is a world-class VPN for anybody who cares about privacy online. Cover your tracks with military-grade encryption and industry-leading VPN today. Be sure to use the link in the description below, because every sign-up using that link will get 67% off with a 60-day risk-free trial with unlimited bandwidth, anonymous browsing, and fast internet speeds across all your devices. Try it now before signups end by going to virtualshield.com/BCP. That's virtualshield.com/BCP.
After a series of high-profile crimes on New York City subways, right, you deployed hundreds of state police and National Guard troops into the subway system. But since the pandemic, you have done a wonderful job. Overall crime is down in the city.
Yes, it is.
So my question to you is, why now? Why deploy into the subway? And how do you respond to some of your fellow Democrats calling the move theatrics that play into Republican narratives that blue cities are poorly run war zones?
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. My job is to keep people safe. I have to keep, any way I can, I'm going to keep New Yorkers safe. And I'll tell you who does show appreciation for the people out there on the streets. I've been walking the streets. I walk into business. People are just saying, thank you for taking such strong action. Now, you are...
That's a lie, right? That's a damn lie. I guarantee you, nobody is walking up to Kathy Hochul telling her that, hey, thank you for taking such strong... Hell no. Okay, it's probably the exact opposite, right? They're probably walking up to her and saying, you need to resign, right? You are terrible, okay? Because again, she's a part of the problem, okay? She's a part of the problem as governor in regards to why New York City and the state as a whole is soft on crime, okay? And why they have this crime problem that they claim they don't have, but they actually really do have. And this is why I say, if you actually really want to fix the issue, you have to vote all these people out, right? Just like you guys saw in that last news clip, you know, there's a lot of points of issues, right? When it comes to why these criminals aren't being locked up, okay? It's just not the governor or, you know, the DA or the prosecutor or whatever, or the judge. No. It's everybody. It's the whole system, right? So you got to get rid of all these people, okay? If you want real change, you have to vote all these people out, period.
Correct that working with Mayor Adams, since I've been governor, we have driven down crimes. You know, homicides are down about 30%, shootings down about 38%. The subways have been safer, but we had a spike recently. Yes. A 45% increase in subway crimes. Now, these are high-profile crimes.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Yeah. Because the CEO of the MTA says that 1% of subway suspects are responsible for more than 20% of the crime because of New York's bail reform laws, which allows them to go back out there and commit more crimes.
I'll get to bail in 1 second. I'm going to answer this one because...
Now, what you guys know, this is the first time that Joy Behar confronted her on that, okay? Because Joy Behar actually, for once in her life, interrupted the propaganda babble here from Kathy Hochul with a real question, right? Hey, hold on there. Why you doing all that bragging? I want you to understand. No. Democrat laws are allowing these criminals to continue to commit these crimes. You need to speak on that, right? You need to address this issue, right? Rare case of some good questioning here from Joy Behar.
What happened is I needed to do something dramatic and quickly to send a message that you will not get away with committing crimes in our subways. You cannot slash the throat of a conductor. You cannot push someone onto the track because people will not take the subway if they don't feel safe. That's job number one. So they are not there to harass anybody. I said, I don't like those long guns. They're kind of threatening to stand there. I said, smile at everybody. Welcome them to the subway.
Wow. Even when Democrats are trying to be tough on crime, right? They find ways to not be tough, okay? I don't like those long guns. Those long guns scary. Well, again, what's the point? What's the point of bringing in the National Guard in? It's partly to intimidate criminals, right? To intimidate them into not committing crimes, okay? And the long guns and the rifles are part of the intimidation factor. When you take those away, then it's less intimidating. But the only people that are going to be intimidated are the criminals, right? If you are just riding the subway, okay, you just trying to go to work or do whatever you're trying to do, you going about your business, you ain't no criminal, you ain't got to worry about it, right? Because you know that the gun is not going to be used on you, right? But yeah, if you're a criminal, then yeah, you should be intimidated. That's the whole point. But again, Kathy Hochul here, because again, you have the far left woke revolutionaries in her own party that are criticizing her for putting the National Guard in the subway. Again, she has to try to find that balance where it's like, well, we're going to put them down there. We're going to take away the scary guns, right? Again, it's shameful. It really is. This is a clown show.
These are moms and dads. The National Guard are just our citizens who've stepped up. So I will do that any day of the week. I take criticism the second I wake up in the morning until I go to bed at night, and I don't care. My job is to protect New Yorkers, and that's one way to do it.
So
well, clearly and obviously you do, because if you didn't, you would not have been freaking out over the guns, right? The so-called long guns, right? You would not have been freaking out over that.
On the bill. Yeah. What about this? There's like a circle of
That's why last year I inherited from my predecessor and the legislature before. They took the bail laws and watered them down and made it impossible for judges to look at the whole picture of the crime and the person, what they're doing. So I worked hard last year. I held the budget up 1 month late. I wanted to be on time. So you can brag about being on time. I was not going to be on time because I had more leverage after April 1st. So last year I held up the budget. I got the changes I needed. Judges now have discretion. They can look at the whole issue. They can look at whether a gun was involved. Was there an order of protection? We have to protect the victims of domestic violence. My mother was a champion for victims of domestic violence.
But there was just a crime in Long Island where body parts were found all over Long Island. They had 4 suspects. They let them go. And now they're out there still. So what is the deal here?
Right.
It sounds insane to me.
No, the crime...
Yo, Joy Behar. Wow, Joy. Wow, you're not letting this Democrat get away with her BS. Okay, because that is what Kathy Hochul is doing. She's trying to place blame on everybody else, including the last governor, instead of putting blame on herself, because apparently she is the one that misunderstands the laws of New York and her own law that she set in place, in which she claims that, hey, I'm giving the judges more discretion in regards to whether or not they can set a bail. So therefore, it's not my fault. It's the judge's fault who need more training, except that's not exactly true.
It is becoming clearer to me that we need judges trained in the changes that we made.
Hochul amended the laws last year to give judges more discretion when setting bail for eligible offenses.
We shouldn't really blame judges for making release decisions that jeopardize public safety, because that's not part of what they're supposed to do.
Renee Ropak is a researcher with the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, leading a series of studies on bail reform in New York. His latest report found that eliminating bail for most misdemeanors did not lead to more repeat offenders, but it did increase recidivism for people facing more serious charges.
For quote-unquote high-risk individuals, we found recidivism increases among because of bail reform.
The governor's office told us it's working with the State Office of Court Administration to require judges receive 1 to 6 hours of additional training each year regarding bail, recognizance, and commitment procedures.
The governor is trying to have her cake and eat it too here.
Judge George Grasso is retired from the Queen's Supreme Court. He says you can give judges all the training in the world, but it will do little to change their decision-making under the current laws.
When you go to judicial training, I've been to many of them, judges are properly instructed. You cannot consider the dangerousness of the individual.
New York is the only state where judges are not allowed to consider a defendant's danger to public safety when setting bail.
The judge does that analysis and the person is deemed to not be a risk of flight, then just because they're eligible for bail doesn't mean that the judges are then authorized to impose it.
Arielle Reed, an attorney with the Legal Aid Society, explains the state's ban on considering public safety for bail dates back to the 60s and is meant to protect a defendant's innocence until proven guilty.
Governor Hochul's assertion betrays her own sort of misunderstanding of the way the bail laws function.
Now, the governor's office points out that judges can consider a defendant's criminal history, but experts tell me that's still only in the context of if they're considered a flight risk. A spokesperson for the New York Court Office of Administration saying they're working with the governor to continue trainings for judges. Dick and Dana.
The crime that was brought was not what was bail eligible. Yes, murder is. Yes, conspiracy to commit murder is. Yes, assault is bail eligible. All those are. I know that the DA is working really hard with the Suffolk County Police Department to build the case they need to bring the charges that are necessary. The charges he brought, he did not have enough evidence at time to hold.
You can't hold them?
Not on the charges he brought. But those are low-level
evidence.
charges. They really weren't. And we can work to make those bail eligible in the next session, but I changed the law. It only went into effect last May, by the way. So we've had a real drop in recidivism since I've been governor. Everyone talks about this, down 45%.
This whole thing.
Yeah, so there you have it, right? And Joy Behar, who's probably scared to death, and I don't blame her, because again, this is what they do. They worry about the crime, okay, when they think it's going to affect them, okay? I mean, because, these people are rich. But when you got these murderers walking around, okay, all of a sudden, they can't help but confront the governor on the fact that, hey, this really don't make sense, right? This doesn't make sense at all to have alleged murderers running around the city, right? When they're suspected of committing that type of crime, okay? But, Kathy Hochul's excuse is that, well, they were charged with, crimes that aren't bail eligible, so it's not my fault, even though she could attempt to repeal the bail reform law of 2019, okay, that she blames as the reason why we have this in the first place, okay? She blamed her predecessor, but she's not doing everything in her power to get rid of that law, right? To reform the law so that it's not on the books anymore, because that's what they should do. They actually really should just get rid of it, okay? But she won't do that, and she's not taking responsibility for her state that is experiencing a crime crisis. I don't care what these people say. I don't care what statistics they throw out there, because, again, we've seen this playbook from Democrats before, right, where they will lie to your face and say, oh, well, inflation's down. Inflation's not down, right? Okay, crime is not down. Okay, yeah, if you're not arresting people, okay, if you're not reporting crimes, then, yeah, it's going to seem like crime is down. But, again, if you actually ask the people, how do the people feel about the current state of the city, in the state itself, they're going to tell you, no, we feel unsafe. We feel like crime is up. Okay, crime is more out of control than ever. We're afraid. We're scared. Okay, we have literal murderers roaming free on the streets, even though they've been suspected of committing that type of violent act. Okay, so now you even have people like Joy Behar who's afraid. But, you know, despite being afraid and despite knowing the cuckoo for cocoa puff policies from Democrats that are allowing this type of chaos and destruction, she's still going to come out here and vote Democrat, right? And shield for Democrats as well, too. It really blows my mind how these people line up and support this party that is severely lacking common sense. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.